Good morning, Scott. Can you hear me? How are you doing this morning? Hi, Kathy. Can you guys hear me this morning? Okay, so thanks for being here. It is March 31st, 2018. 7 a.m. Eastern and 7:04 and 12:04 England time and 10:04 p.m. in Australia. Those are the ones that I kind of keep track of. So, and I also keep track of the Tomsk, Russia as well because of the Schumann. Kathy, you'll appreciate that. Hi, Patrick. Hi, QP. Kathy and Scott, I already said hi. Let's see. Had a few things that wanted to talk about this morning. Let me look over my notes. This is like the most pressing thing ever on my list. Do you guys think that Andrew Eaton looks like Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad? Oh my goodness, that's so funny. He's kind of cute. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay. Oh, that's okay, Kathy. No big deal. Thanks for being here at all. That's great. Let's see. I wanted to talk about. Hi, Raleigh. Yay. Good morning. Anyways, so I've still been in my storage units. But the great thing is finding like new things that you thought you lost and stuff. And I've talked about this a little bit yesterday and stuff like that. But I found like not so much my Egypt pictures, but I found some of the stuff that I brought back from Egypt. So I can't wait to put it all together and do a video on it. It'll be great. But I'm missing a couple things, like some jewelry that I got, like a gold necklace with like my name and hieroglyphics and stuff like that. So now I do have like a couple pictures of Well, I have some pictures, just not. I just don't know where all of them are because I took them out to show them to somebody one time, and then I never put them back where they were supposed to be, and so those are the ones I'm missing. But I do have a few now. Being that it's almost Easter, I think I can safely say that talk about some religious stuff a little bit. I was baptized in the Red Sea at Sharm el Sheikh. That is in the Sinai Peninsula. And, people go snorkeling and scuba diving there and stuff like that. And that's where I was, I was baptized as a baby, but I was rebaptized this was 1990, like I said earlier in my other broadcast, for those of you who don't know. I was there when Iraq invaded Kuwait. I was in Cairo. Or in Egypt, and so it's kind of a interesting time for me. And also going through my storage units, I found a Time magazine from like August 13th or something like that. I can't remember it might not be the 13th, but it was, I think, August of 1990. So yeah, Raleigh, I know you've been there too, and that is so great. We should compare notes for sure. Now, the thing about Egypt is, and I've talked about this on some of my other broadcasts, is that when people say things have changed and stuff, well, I've been there, okay, and the pyramids, when I was there in 1990, were fairly close to Egypt. I mean, it wasn't like, right on it or whatever. I'm sure the city's grown, but, I think it was like a 45-minute bus ride or something like that, or car ride. I'm not sure. I mean, it was fairly close. Now I'm saying at the most, 45 minutes. And so, it wasn't like a trek and a camel. I mean, yes, I rode camels. Yeah, I have pictures of me going horseback riding at the foot of the pyramids. I can't wait to share them with you guys. So, it wasn't like a 3-hour long camel ride or something. Of course, a 3-hour long camel ride is probably a 45-minute car ride. Right. So, but anyways, Raleigh, I can't wait to compare notes with you sometime on that. But anyway, in looking at the pyramids, like now they look fairly normal to me, with the middle one being the largest with the capstone. That's definitely what I remember. Hi, Martha. Glad to see you here. Good morning or evening, or what? Well, you said morning, so I guess it's morning for you. Okay. So also, oh gosh, what was I saying? Oh, the pyramids. Okay. So anyway, so when the two were the same size, that is obviously not part of my memory at all. No. But, it's switched back to where the middle one is larger, and that is definitely my memory. And then, but the thing that, and I've talked about this in another live stream, the thing that bothers me is I cannot, and I've been there, and that's why when people say, oh, definitively this, I've been there, and I don't remember some details, and that it does bother me quite a bit, actually, that I don't remember whether those 3 little pyramids were there or not. I know the back entrances to the pyramids that they have now, those weren't there. Those were not there when I was there, for sure. I know that. And Earth version 7.0. It's funny because, it would be great to find like everybody that matches up exactly with what, you remember. I don't think that's possible. I honestly don't, because even, like when I first started, knowing about all this, I was looking at every single one of Moneybags videos, and I would agree with most of them, but there were a few that I didn't agree with at all. So I mean, I'm like 80% on Moneybags, something like that. For instance, Caesar. It's always been Caesar to me, always. And so when he was saying it was EASAR, that, no, it didn't resonate. But the problem that I have too is that I have seen changes for a long time. And so, since the 80s, I saw John Deere, I saw all the name changes, like not all, but like Christopher Reeve, Sally Field, Rod Sterling, Charles Schultz, all those guys' names changed. And then there was a couple others I wanted to say because that were from the 80s too, that I can't think of right now. But anyway, because even at Sally Field's Oscar speech, and of course I remember, you like me, you really like me. And it's so, oh, I got to tell you about this. I'm still friends with my English teacher. And anyway, we were just kind of referenced, and he just thinks I'm freaking nuts, And, I try to reference stuff that I think that he'll know. And I'm like, you like me, you really like me. And he's like, oh, let me just give you your Oscar. And I'm like, Mr., whatever. I still call him Mr. by his last name. I'm like, do you realize that doesn't exist in this timeline? And he's like, well, whatever. He refuses to acknowledge the Emmy even when confronted. But he's kind of fun because he is a skeptic. And anyways, it's just kind of fun to deal with that. Okay, so let me see what else I had here to talk about. Gosh, 15 minutes already. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I was at my storage units. And bye, Kathy. Have a great day. But anyway, in going through my storage units, I got done in, for instance, well, for one thing, I live about an hour from like any fast food restaurant except for Subway. There's like a little tiny Subway in our town, but so I mean, I live in the middle of freaking nowhere. But anyways, my phone had died, and so I had to get home, and it's quite a trek, 10 miles or so. So I just started walking, and it was really therapeutic to me because, I was thinking about a lot of things about my life and, the Mandela effect and how things are going and blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, I was just like, if things can change, or, good, because I need a few positive changes, but I'm also learning from the things that I'm going through as well. But anyway, as I was walking, I probably got about 4 miles down the road. And like I said, this is the absolute middle of nowhere. And I was thinking, if somebody stops and gives me a ride, that's great. If not, I'm just going to contemplate all these things. Well, lo and behold, someone stopped and gave me a ride that I knew. I mean, I knew the person, so, don't freak out. But I mean, it's just so funny because it's like, there's nobody that you guys don't really know how remote it is here, So it's like, when somebody passes you by, it's actually more likely than not that you're going to know them, So it's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, I got to ride home. And, like my class was only 45 people. So, um, you know, I mean, just like I said, very, very, very small town. The bad part about that is that everybody in the world knows what you're doing. I mean, you can think something and they'll say it to you. You know? So that's crazy. All right. So Patrick was talking about the Journey song, Don't Stop Believing. Now, I still hear she on that. I mean, it's kind of subtle and it's kind of not as clear as it used to be, it seems, but I still hear um, she took the midnight train going anywhere. I still hear that. But what's crazy about that is that on the Bananarama song, um, when that was going around, people weren't hearing his, and I definitely heard his on that song. So it's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy how we hear different things as well as see different things, isn't it? But okay, let me see. Scott was talking about that a little bit, and another thing he was talking about is somebody had mentioned that he looked totally different on a video, and he brought it up. It was like the "Beam Me Up, Scotty" video that he did, and he does look different. He doesn't look like, and see, I've thought that off and on that, man, Scott looks different. You know, there's something about him. Hi, Corey. Um, how you doing this morning? It's probably evening for you. Let me see. Is it close to, what did I say, 10 p.m. or something like that? Is it 10 p.m. for you? But anyways, anyway, with Scott's face, yeah, he looks totally different in that video, and I've been noticing that. That is so strange. And then you can just tell like mannerisms and stuff. And because Scott and Emma have both done, you know, a lot of videos, it's easy to, you know, compare notes to what they look like now or act like now versus before. And so, yeah, I mean, you can definitely see changes. And I'm gonna freak out when I hear a different version of me do one of my videos. I am going to absolutely freak out on that. Oh gosh. Now today, when I was at the storage unit and stuff, I noticed that it seemed a little bit more like the old Earth because there were, you know, a blue sky and puffy clouds that you normally don't see because there's clouds are so weird now. And so it looked more normal. It looked like, you know, before, for sure. But, you know, yesterday I was talking about my weather indicators and stuff. And then, you know, I've done a video on it, and I need to do another one because yesterday I told you guys about where one day went on AccuWeather. You know, I've been logging these, and one day on AccuWeather, I had recorded 56 and the temperature went to 39. And it wasn't just that AccuWeather recorded a different temperature. I know what I was doing that day. And I know it was warmer than 39 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, I know it was. Raleigh, you're going to go through your storage? Yeah. Okay, but anyway, yesterday it says that the high was, or not yesterday, let's see, what day would this have been? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. The 29th, it says it was 43 degrees high, and I recorded 60. And there's no way I can mix that up, you know what I mean? So obviously this is a really good, you guys, shift indicator that you can use. Because I mean, I've seen it on, you know, like there's also 1 degree differences, which I kind of discount that because it might just be AccuWeather, you know, adjusting it. Okay, Scott Balo, I gotta read this. I'm starting to think that everything we're seeing is fake, pics, vids, fabricated. Everything is a digital reality. You know, I can't disagree with you on that. I mean, very, very strong very strong possibility that this is a simulation, I think. One of the reasons, and I even said this in one of my previous videos about, like, you know, seeing all the number synchronicities and stuff, because how can that happen, really? You know, why would I see all these repeating numbers all the time? You know, I don't know. It's kind of scary to think about, because it's like, you know, we think we're physical beings and stuff like that, but what if we aren't? You know, what if we aren't? I don't know. And it's kind of crazy because, like, there's certain things that I just quit doing that people normally do as part of the system or whatever, and I'm not going to elucidate on that, but there's things that I just quit doing and quit paying attention to, because I thought, well, this doesn't matter anyway. It's not real. It's not real. So I don't know. All right, let's see. What else? Oh, and going back to how Scott looks different. Bluebeard did a really interesting video on how, you know, his present self doesn't have like a few scars that like other pictures that he has on the computer of himself from previously. And like, I guess he had like cancer on the ear and stuff like that. And so, you know, that would be, you know, a pretty good indicator that you're not the same person. So he's saying that we're physically shifting as well. So I don't know. Gosh, that would be weird. I thought it was just our consciousness, you know? So, well, no, that can't be true, because I don't know. I have to explore this a little bit more. I can't say for myself. I haven't really seen that many differences in me. So, but I remember Scott saying that, you know, one day they were going to McDonald's or something, and all of a sudden MA was shorter. So to me, that means it's not a physical shift. But yet, you know, Bluebird's evidence kind of said it might be a physical shift. So I don't know. I need to explore that further. I haven't really seen that many changes in myself, other than I have like this, and this was from a long time ago, but I have like some stuff on my, like, I don't know, it's like I can't remember what it's called. I should have looked it up before I came on to tell you guys, because I knew I wanted to discuss this. There's some kind of really weird mark on me now, on my shoulder, my back shoulder, that I never had before, but it was clear back from around the 2012 time frame. And I'm not hugely into 2012 being a part of this at all. So don't think it's just that that's actually when it occurred, and that's why I'm saying that. Not that it couldn't have been. I'm just saying that I'm not a huge proponent of that. But that, and then there's also like some weird like wart or mole on my left leg by my ankle. And I never had that before either, and that just kind of appeared out of nowhere. So I tend towards believing more that we are consciously shifting rather than physically shifting. I think we're shifting into different bodies, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, so Raleigh says he's weighed 165 forever, and now he's 180 pounds. Yeah, well, I've lost weight recently, and I need to lose more. But that was, I don't know. Birthmark popped up on my right upper arm. Corey says, well, yeah. See, that's why I tend to think that we're more consciously shifting. That's just because I see more evidence for that. Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. My internet went out a lot of times. Hi, MA. Hi, Joner. But anyway, what I was talking about is the TV series Caprica. I don't know how much you heard. Let me go back in the chat. My internet is so retarded. Pisses me off. Let's see. Right when I'm getting into a really good discussion. Okay, so Joner's in. But anyway, what I was getting at about Caprica is that, you know, the guy's daughter dies and her consciousness goes into AI basically, or a robot, and it's and then there's some other stuff about it that's just, if you believe in the simulation theory or just entertain the thought. Now, like I said, I'm not convinced 100% on simulation theory, but I definitely think we need to consider that for sure. And it's kind of fascinating, really. You know, I don't know. It's just all these different things that could be happening, you know. Oh, it's scary in a way, but intriguing as well. Because it's like, if this is a simulation, you have to ask yourself, you know, if it is a simulation, then did we have a physical body at one time? Did we, if it is a simulation, did we at some point say, I want to live forever and download my consciousness and to a computer program or something like that? And, you know, is that why I have memories from a childhood that, I don't know. It's crazy. QP, you just now got a notice. I know YouTube sucks, doesn't it? Corey says, "Is it raining there, Rain?" No, but I think it's supposed to snow today. Let me see. You guys, my grandma celebrates her 93rd, and I have another grandma too that's 90. But one of my grandmas celebrates her 93rd birthday today, and she is great. Her mind is totally there still yet. And she gets around, she walks up and down, like, I don't know, I would say at least a 50-foot hallway, probably, 6 times a day by herself, you know, up and back and up and back. And, but anyway, it's pretty cool because it was easy to remember her birthday because she always told me that her mom and dad didn't want her to be born on April Fools, and she wasn't. She was born the day before. So I think it's crazy that April Fools is on Easter this year. I don't know if, I know it's happened before, but I don't think it's happened that much. All right. Let me see. I think I'm looking at AccuWeather to see if, now tomorrow I might have a little bit, because it's Easter, it might be a little more of a religious broadcast. Not religious. I hate that word because I don't like religion. More of a spiritual, but it'll be Jesus focused though. So if you're not inclined, I mean, that's your whatever, but I'm just saying, because it's Easter, that's probably more of my focus is going to be on that, because I am a Christian, and it's, big part of my life. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about, okay, first of all, let's see. I'm going to the weather as well. I wanted to tell you about this book, and I haven't even started it yet. But I've had it forever, and I found it in my storage unit when I was going through. And it's called The Beautiful Miscellaneous. And I'm really excited to start it. But let me give you the synopsis that's on the front page or whatever. It says, Nathan Nelson is the average son of a genius. His father is a physicist of small renown, has prodded him towards greatness from an early age, enrolling him in whiz kid summer camps, taking him to icy tundra of Canada to track a solar eclipse, and teaching him college algebra. But despite Samuel Nelson's efforts, Nathan remains ordinary. But then, in the summer of 1987, this is freaky because it seems like all this stuff, they always go back to the 80s or something, and that's when, all my stuff is. So it's kind of cool. But then in the summer of 1987, everything changes. While visiting his small town grandfather in Michigan, Nathan is involved in a terrible accident. After a brief clinical death, which he later recalls as a lackluster affair lasting less than the length of a top 40 pop song, he falls into a coma. Okay, now here's the interesting part, you guys. When he awakens, Nathan finds that everyday life is radically different. His perceptions of sight, sound, and memory have been irrevocably changed. The doctors and his parents fear permanent brain damage, but the truth of his condition is more unexpected and leads to a renewed chance for Nathan to find his place in the world. Okay, there's more in the description, but that's basically it. And like I said, I haven't even started this book, but I'm really excited to read it. And it was put out in 2007. So, okay, so no, I guess it isn't supposed to snow. Maybe tonight it says snow at times 1 to 3 inches. Supposed to be a high today of 41. But you guys, I'm telling you, do the weather thing as an indicator because it's worked 3 times at least for me. And the most recent just being 2 days ago. I need to put another video out on that because, I mean, when I write down 60 and then it goes to 43, that's crazy. Those numbers aren't, I mean, there's no reason I would write down 60 and know that it was 60. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. My internet went out again. Oh, that's so aggravating right when I was getting to stuff. Okay, so I'm not sure what you heard, so I'm just going to read Scott Baylor's comment again. I'm hoping we didn't do something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if I chose to be on a computer without thinking about the consequences. That is what I am afraid of too. It's like, because now I wouldn't choose that, but what if I did in the past and that's what I'm living at right now? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting to think about, isn't it? Um, let's see. I'm looking at the chat again. Oh, Jenner, you're welcome. It's great to be on. This and one other hour is really the only hours I could be on consistently, and that's why I chose it, even though there's not that many people on at this time. I just, it was really the only thing that I could do on a consistent basis. And so that's why I wanted to do this hour. Oh, Michael Furberger, welcome. Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have an important message. You have a mustache and glasses. Are you the Monopoly man? Oh, I am going to kill my internet because it is so not acting right now. And also, and actually that wasn't even my internet. It just was something where it said your app's not working, blah, blah, blah. I think it's people trying to keep us from doing these live streams. Well, not people. Okay. Brandon Helzer. Welcome. Glad you could be here. It's not my first live chat, but I haven't done very many. So let's see. So you're Scandinavian Viking, Raleigh? What did your mother mention, Raleigh? I don't know. Oh, well, I know you. I've seen you say stuff about the Masons and stuff. Is that a Job's daughter? What is that? Hi, Aaron. Good to see you this morning. Afternoon for those in the UK. Martha, he thinks the communicating with us makes us targets. Targets for what? Like a targeted individual? So Raleigh, you are a Mason as well? Let's see. What is your thought on all these new animals with rainbow colors, and how could this be used as an advantage? Job's daughter is a Freemason. Well, the rainbow animals, I have a conflicting thought about that because they're beautiful, as well as the Rainbow Mountains and all that. And in the Bible, it's a covenant between God and His people. But I'm thinking, that the enemy might be twisting it in some ways at times because just of different things I've researched. I need to research this more because I don't want to just blanket say that without saying that I haven't, because I haven't researched it enough. But there's just different things that I need to investigate, and because I'm intrigued by that, the whole rainbow thing. Let's see. Michael says that this stream prevents me from going crazy, very calming. My psychiatrist tells me to stop breaking the law. How are you breaking the law? But yeah, I think when we first go through this, it's just so mind-blowing. You're just like, you can't even just wrap your brain around what's going on. Reality just is not what you think it is anymore. It's just not. And it's so hard to wrap your brain around it, and it's like, other people in your life think you are going crazy. And we're not. We're not crazy. But, as much as the internet is evil or whatever, my goodness, if it weren't for the internet, we wouldn't have each other, and that would be really upsetting. I mean, okay, so Raleigh, you're saying that the whole Mason background is an effect and a change in your family history? Hmm. Raleigh, are you leaving? Better get rest now. Okay, well, thanks for coming in, Raleigh. Love you. And we need to compare notes on Egypt sometime, Raleigh. But yeah, it's so hard, when everybody around us is thinking that we're nuts, and we know we're not nuts, but we're acting nuts to other people. I mean, honestly, you guys, you can see why people would think that, right? I mean, I can. I know I'm not crazy. I know that there's other people like you guys that see the same things, but I can see from their perspective why they would think that we're nuts. you know? So I don't know. Hi, Simon. Good to see you. So it's afternoon, and you're from the UK, right? I'm trying to remember where everybody's living. Scott Baylor says, yeah, we look like fruitcakes. No kidding. We look totally nuts. And, I honestly don't blame people for thinking that we're nuts, because I know, given the same thing, I would think that too. you know, it just happens to be that I'm affected. And so, of course, you know, it's normal for me and for you guys, but I can honestly see why people think we're crazy. I really can. So, Martha, thank you so much for coming in. Got to get ready for work, you say. Have a great day. Raleigh, good night. Have a great day. Well, Simon, doesn't it rain there all the time? Hi, Jen. How are you this morning? Good to see you. So, but anyway, like I was saying, it's just so easy, you know. I mean, I know I would have that perspective too, as far as like people thinking that we're nuts. Okay, Brandon's saying, I believe most people are so programmed to believe what they've been told and taught their whole life. It's plain scary to know. Yeah, it is. It is a program, really, as far as like, and I even knew like a long time ago that the program wasn't working for me because, like, the program was, well, go to high school, get good grades so you can go to college, get good grades so you can get a good job, and blah, blah, blah. And then right after that, get married and have a family. And, I don't regret my kids one bit, that's for sure. I actually wanted to have kids regardless of programming, but I'm just saying that, that is the program. And, a lot of people have kids that don't want kids just because it's the quote unquote right thing to do or whatever. But anyway, I knew I wasn't happy with that. I'm like, there's got to be more to this. I have a great job, I was married, and I'm like, this is bogus, I wasn't really doing what I wanted to be doing. I wasn't really married to the right person. But at the same time, I feel like now, look in retrospectively, that I was married to that person to have those kids. Those two boys of mine were meant to be born. And so, I don't know. You can second guess your whole life, really, Now, it would be strange, like if you came on a reality where you were like totally married to like a different person and had different kids or something like that. Now that would be, my theory is like if we are changing and switching realities and if there are multiple worlds, and like I said, there's so many different theories out there, but I feel like when we shift to like the next one closest to us. Like, it's kind of like the pages of a book, you know, and where you're poking a hole, you can go to the right or, forward in the book or even backwards maybe sometimes in the book. Your page is in the middle of the book. Um, but we're going to something that's close. I mean, you can't like skip to the end. you know? You got to go through these pages first. You're poking through the holes of the book. So like maybe we're poking our little holes in realities through to the end. You're poking like a pencil prick or pin prick through these pages in the book trying to get to the end. And maybe there isn't an end. Well, of course, I believe we're infinite beings anyways. And so I don't think there's an end, but there might be an end to this physical reality, of course. And that's something different than being an end. So QP says we are shifting to pick up the missing organ. It would seem to me, picking up the missing pieces until we have the whole human body. Yeah, the body changes are strange to me. Now I'm not as interested in those as a lot of the other stuff, just because I always hated biology. But I notice things in myself, like especially my thumbs, ugh, and my fingers. Like right now, both my index fingers hurt. So if like there's changes in the index fingers soon, I'll know why. Because both my index fingers hurt today, but that could be just because I was working in my storage units. But it's odd that the rest, the other fingers don't hurt. Just my thumbs, which have been hurting the last couple of weeks, and then my index fingers. Let's see, whatever Brandon was saying. Brandon says he didn't ever want to be on YouTube because until he realized what was happening with the effect. Yeah, I don't hoping to wake people up. I wanted to wake people up at first too, and I still do, but I try to do it in a subtle way. And well, like even with like I need to do a couple more videos on this series that I wanted to do called These Are a Few of My Favorite Things, and I did a Fringe one. My first one was Fringe, and I need to do like Battlestar Galactica, Caprica, Twilight Zone, Star Trek, because I've been saving all these clips and stuff, but I haven't been putting it together, which I need to do. But, and a lot of these were just to like try to subtly put stuff out there to where, like the fans of the show, even if they're not affected, might watch it and just kind of question, But in real life, I feel like, if something comes up, I feel like it's okay to, maybe just kind of question, but I don't feel like it's wise to press necessarily anymore. 5:55 a.m. in the mountain time zone. Repeating numbers. But like I said, I think the repeating numbers too are just a sign of that it possibly could be a simulation. Bye, MA. Have a great day. But anyways, yeah, it's I think it's weird that there's that HBO show out now that features the 1111. It's called Here and Now. I did a video on it. If you guys don't know about it, but it's on HBO and it stars Tim Robbins and Holly Hunter. I mean, star actors. and it's all about the 11/11. Now I've only seen the first 2 episodes because it was on like a free weekend, so I don't know like where they take it from there. But why? I mean, I guess there is this phenomenon, and in researching it, I found out it went clear back to 2012, and so I didn't see starting. I've seen effects my whole life, but I really didn't see repeating numbers until about a year ago, and then I started seeing them all the time, especially the 11/11. But I see fours a lot for sure. QP says it's 5:55. Yep. Well, it was 5:55 just a little bit ago for me. But I mostly see fours and ones. Fours are a huge thing for me for some reason. But Corey is back. Well, it's to the end of my hour and I've got some stuff to do, so I'm going to sign off here. It was wonderful having you guys here this morning, and I hope you have a great day. And oh wait, Scott says, does everyone start off saying 11/11 first? I want to address that first. I think so, but not sure. I would like to maybe do some research and ask people that. That would be interesting. Like, what numbers do they see? Do they see, certain numbers more? But anyway, I'm going to go, you guys, and have a great day. And next time, maybe we can talk about some numbers more too, as well. So, love you all, and have a great day or evening. Bye-bye.